Hello. So I'm Yiannis Emiris. I'm a professor at the University of Athens, just a couple of hundred meters up the hill. But today I'll talk more about work we are doing with Pythagoras Systems, which is a Greek startup working on decentralized applications and tightly connected with Volentix, which is a bigger company. I'll come back to that structure at the end of my talk. So I want to emphasize some machine learning aspects that are closely connected to blockchain tools, and I'm happy to be talking in this session because much of the things I'm interested in are already mentioned. So the main emphasis of our work is a system to study, to evaluate cryptocurrencies, digital assets in general. So Vespucci is the name of our platform. It is ranking digital assets, and I'll tell you the main features, but the main aspect that I feel is new and original in this research and in this implementation is that we are trying to take a very comprehensive view of what is out there. So people are talking about cryptocurrency assets. We listen to it in what is called a sentiment analysis of an asset. First of all, I mentioned fundamental and technological. This is looking at the blockchain that is supporting the currency. It's also looking at the team and the GitHub activity. I'll detail these aspects later. So sentiment I already mentioned, and technical is the standard economic market cap, volatility, and so on. So what I find original in our work is that we try to approach all of the aspects of a cryptocurrency, let's say of a new token, and we are trying to talk to the plain user as well as the experienced investor. Of course, our code is open source. Of course, it's decentralized. There's a lot of machine learning in that. I'll go into it. Sorry for looking at your feet, but my talk is here also. We make it general enough that it will implement smart contracts, and we can store data on the EOS, blockchain, and so on. So let me go into the technical details. So this is what you get when you go to our webpage today. This is a snapshot from more than a month ago. You get a ranking of almost 200 cryptocurrencies. I show 10 of them. We have a score. That day it was out of 65. Today the maximum is 100. Makes it easier to track. This is more like what you get today. So today you also get the partial scores. So you get the fundamental technical analysis, the technical, and the sentiment analysis. So you have scores in each column. I would expect today that many of these tokens are down on the technical analysis because of the plunge that the market is taking, but the other aspects may still be up. Here I indicate the weights we had given on that date on the different pillars, but this is, of course, an aspect of research, and this is where machine learning comes in. How do you decide on the weights? So these were the weights a few days ago. We also give on our Vespucci.site, which is in the center here, we also give some information about how the coins evolve, how we compute these pillars. And here I show you the relationship to the actual price last week of Bitcoin hash. What is it? Yes. Bitcoin Cash. So somehow the price tends to follow our indicators. This is again a matter of research. It's very interesting to see whether we go together with the market, whether we predict the market, and so on. So let me go into the technical aspects. Fundamental analysis, as I said, is looking at the network statistics. We use blockchain explorers to see how things are being done. We look at the source code, and we try to automate this. Right? We try to limit or maybe phase out completely the human intervention. We do have some human experts check on the team for now. This might be automated later on. And we, of course, check their sources. Technical analysis, as I said, is checking prices and volatility. We use 5 indicators, mostly moving average, convergence, divergence, this MACD. There's a lot of details on our site as to, and on our white paper and green paper, and so on. Sentiment analysis, as you realize, we analyze news, posts, tweets. We look at hashtags. Also, we look at keywords. Right now, we use software Vader, but we're also working on our own text analytics. And the overall scoring, okay, I come from a mathematical background. So the overall scoring could be seen as a weighted average. But a weighted average can also be seen as a neural net, where you try to ingest all different aspects, and then you try to decide on the perfect scoring, on the perfect weights. So the weights that I had shown you at some point are kind of default. What is the better weight? The better weight will be decided by looking at the results of my engine. And so I have a feedback loop, which is precisely what is being done by a neural network. And actually, we have implemented this neural network. We want to go deeper, and we want to automate things. So deep learning is what we are doing right now. And we're also looking at distributed implementations of deep learning. So here is another aspect of blockchain computation. So it's not only looking at the blockchains, it's also using the blockchains to do this computation real time. Scam coins is what we would like to identify, for instance. Not only give you a score, but also raise a flag when we find that the coin seems to be a junk coin. So how do you train your deep network to understand the scam coin? There is no good definition from a mathematical point of view. But precisely this is a good area to apply deep learning, because I don't have a formal definition, but I have a lot of examples. Not very old, maybe 2 years back, 3 years back, but there's a lot of techniques to augment your data in order to teach a network on that. So this is an example of our current work. So I indicate that it could be seen as an extension of what we already have, but it's also an open question for deep learning. So I discussed so far Vespucci, which is the product of Pythagoras here in Athens. The overall structure is Volentix, is Canadian-based. It has a lot of decentralized applications because it is a DAO. I don't have to explain in this audience the Decentralized Autonomous Organization. These are the main pillars of it. So we have a wallet, we have a bounty platform, and our main software here is an exchange platform that is cross blockchains, right? It's built on EOS, but it's supposed to work across blockchains. And there is a process of our own currency going on. So there's a qualified sale right now, and in a few months there will be an ICO. I will not get into the financial aspects, why an ICO and so on. You realize that the DAO wants to finance its own projects in a community-based way. So I guess this audience is well accustomed with these issues. So maybe a couple of words about what we also do. So based on Vespucci, all of these are tightly connected, and Vespucci is a very important tool in someone who wishes to use VDEX, for instance. The idea is that it will inform the plain user. But Vespucci, if you look at it as a decentralized application, ties well with some other decentralized applications we have. Again, this is Pythagoras in Athens. We have a few applications that range from finding your parking spot to managing real assets. Meteorologica is maybe among the most mature. So it's a decentralized application, again, using machine learning to predict weather at a very fine scale, to predict wind, basically, at a very fine scale. And Blocktopus, we have all of the collaborators of the team are here in the room. Blocktopus has developed also a mature product for performing KYCs for ICOs. So you will find everything on our websites. These are the people in Athens. And as I said, almost everybody is here in the room. So I acknowledge their help. They even helped me prepare the slides. They are here to discuss maybe after the talk. So I think I'll close here. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Yiannis. Any questions?
Where can we find information about VDEX?
So there is the Volentix website.
Okay.
Yes. Volentix
So if I understand correctly, it's an exchange based on atomic cross-chain transactions. It means that from one blockchain to another directly, okay?
You can do across blockchains as well, of course.
Do you know what blockchains are supported?
EOS for sure.
EOS?
EOS for sure, but I don't know how far they have gone in supporting all the others. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So it's a,
yes. There is a white paper on that.
Okay.
Vespucci has a green paper for now out. We don't have our white paper written, but VDEX there is for Volentix there is a white paper. So you will read about that.
Very nice.
Okay, one final question.
Thank you for the very interesting presentation. One really short question about the way that you are using the feedback for improving your neural network. I mean, the output of this score is compared to what? To the value that is currently
yes, that's a good
perceived
question.
in the market or something else?
That's a good question. That's one of the most challenging problems when you try to use deep learning to assess cryptocurrencies, because there is no golden truth. So there's many answers to that. Maybe the first answer would be, I'm not going to decide if a currency is good or bad, but I'll try to predict if the price goes up or down. And then I have a feedback loop. I try to have a feedback loop on scam coins that I mentioned. Then I can devise other criteria on what is good or bad, say volatility, say price versus volatility, you know. But it's true that it's something that there's no universally agreed pattern, so we are playing with different aspects. Yes. Yeah. So two main problems in using deep learning then there. One is the absence of golden truth, and the other is the data that is not massive. Yes.
Great. Let's thank Yiannis again.